Coming up on ATV News.
A local motel was robbed this week. The robbers are still out there. We'll tell you who to look for.
We've seen big machines like these on the road, but how about the river? We'll tell you what they're doing.
Mars may not be as far away as you think. We'll show you what mission a local company is planning.
There are 2 skids at Utah State, and I'm not talking about cars in the snow. However, there is one team that is off to a good start. We'll tell you more in ATV Sports.
Finally, snow. How long will it last? And will it be enough to push out the inversion? I'll tell you on ATV Weather.
It's all coming up
on ATV News. Welcome to another edition of ATV News. I'm Jenna, Lynn.
And I'm Brandon, Fonda. Police are still looking for the men responsible for robbing the Super 8 motel Monday morning. 2 men walked in the Super 8 motel on South Main Street around 3:30 a.m. They were dressed in dark sweatshirts with masks over their faces. Police say one man is about 5'10" and the other 6'1". According to police, one of the robbers had a handgun and they duct taped the night clerk before taking the money from the front desk. Police are not saying how much money the 2 robbers took from the motel. The men still have not been found. Logan City Police Department at 435-716-9300.
Some people in Logan say they had quite the shock this week when construction trucks showed up in their own backyards. Construction crews began their work clearing out the Logan River Saturday morning. They are removing debris from the river, like branches and concrete that could block the water flow. Workers say the goal is to get rid of anything that could cause problems in the future, including dead tree branches hanging over the water. This project has been in planning since the river flooded in 2011. But people living along the river say they were given little notice by the city of what was happening.
I guess the first thing I really saw was a truck parked at the end of the street and then a backhoe and excavator, and then excavator coming down the river, removing some debris from the river.
We just got a notice in mail yesterday saying that they were going to be coming by shortly and start on it.
People along the river say they weren't told exactly when crews would be starting their work or ending it, but officials say it could take 6 to 8 weeks to finish.
Mars may be a long ways away, but a company going on a mission to the Red Planet is right in our own city. We went to Wasatch Photonics in Logan to show you how science and art might help with new discoveries. The glass produced at Wasatch Photonics can show you a lot of things. Look through this round piece of glass
and then they can determine immediately if it's cancer or not.
It's all because of light, something that Jerry Height sees different than most.
The fingerprint, or the light being emitted from those molecules, they can determine exactly what the molecule is.
Take a look through this one. It's called a diffraction grating.
Each color of light bends at a different rate or a different angle, and that's how the spectrum is separated.
Looking through these grates, it all depends on the patterns of light you see. Depending on the pattern,
you can get the story what you're looking at.
And to get those correct patterns, you'll see different colors in this lab, like red, yellow, and blue, all part of a delicate process to make the grates. But before all the science, there was this. The original founder of the company made art.
He purchased Noxon-flavored gelatin, ammonium dichromate, and set up a lab in his apartment and started making holographic images.
But what started out as art is now coming here. In 2018, the European Space Agency is sending a rover to Mars, and the science from Wasatch Photonics will be used to help determine what the surface is made of.
I was pretty elated. I went around and everyone who would listen to me, I was telling that we're making gratings that are going to Mars.
The rover will crush up rock and use the grates to look for organic life. Wasatch Photonics is making 38 of those square glass grates to test their stress and durability. One of them will be loaded onto the rover for the mission to Mars.
Coming up after the break.
There are a lot of popular spots for target practice in Logan, but are they legal? We'll tell you whether or not you're breaking the law.
Calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in your face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive.
Yes.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving...
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
And that can make for bad roads. Our Tmera Bradley went out to show us how you can stay safe on the streets.
Dashing through the snow might sound fun in Christmas carols, but it's no holiday behind the wheel on snow-packed roads. When bad weather hits, even safe drivers can find themselves in a ditch.
My friend was driving the car because he thought he could drive better in the snow than me, but he couldn't control the speed and ended up actually going into a ditch and hitting a fence because my tires were completely bald.
It's important to wear the right kind of shoes in the snow, but does the same thing apply for car tires?
Snow tires are made with a softer rubber compound, so as a snow tire gets cold, it remains more pliable. An all-season tire, the rubber has a tendency to harden up a little bit more until it warms up, and so it doesn't quite grip the road as well as a snow tire.
So is changing to snow tires, studs, and chains really worth it?
If I had the money, I for sure would get snow tires every season. If you can't afford the snow tires, just drive slow and careful, because people think that it's 30 degrees outside and not snowing, but there's still ice, so you just have to be super careful on the roads in the wintertime.
Using snow tires actually saves wear on your regular tires, giving you double the mileage from them. That's something to think about the next time you go over the river and through the woods, so you don't end up like this. Tmera Bradley, ATV News.
If you don't have snow tires, it's not too late to get some. They're sold throughout the winter months at most tire stores. Target shooting is a pretty popular thing in Logan, but many people are shooting where they're not supposed to.
But there's a safe place to be, and it's less than a 10-minute drive from downtown. ATV's Jill Hodson takes her shot at the gun range.
The Cache Valley Gun Range has up to 150 people a day coming in. With that, they can have more than 1,000 rounds shot in a day. All ages able to hold and use a gun properly are welcome in each of the ranges.
We have different ranges that can be shot on, whether it be a pistol range, a rifle pistol range, or just strictly a rifle range. We have 3 different ranges that range from 50 feet to 300 yards. We have an indoor archery range, a 50-foot indoor archery range. We also have a 50-foot indoor rifle pistol range for small bore or 22 caliber, long and long rifle only.
Safety is the #1 priority here at the Cache Valley Public Shooting Range. eye protection and ear protection is required. And before going downrange, a ceasefire is called, and all firearms must be open before retrieving your target.
There's actually some designated places in the county that are actual shooting ranges. One of them is on the Valley View Highway, the Hunter's Education Building, where they have an indoor shooting range, and then they have the outdoor shooting ranges also for larger caliber weapons. And that's where we would highly encourage people to go, is to that facility, because it's actually set up for that purpose.
We're very safety minded, first and foremost.
And you know, ear protection and eye protection is, you just can't, you shouldn't go shooting without those things.
Jill Hodson, ATV News.
The Cache Valley Public Shooting Range is located at 2851 West, 200 North.
A superfan is someone who follows his or her team over the years, though through the good and the bad. And they're not just in sports. Today, our correspondent, Brian Champagne, shows us a super car fan and reviews the car he thinks is worth following.
This is Corey Ransom's 4Runner.
A few days ago, just decided it wasn't going to start.
But he still loves it.
This has been a great vehicle. This is my favorite vehicle.
And he's followed 4Runners all through the years.
That's exciting at Toyota for us to hear that we have people that are so excited about something we build that they follow the vehicle throughout all the generations.
Then he drove the latest generation, the 2014 that Toyota loaned us.
This definitely has a real sporty look with it. The hood scoop and the slanted lenses and things. A little bit bigger than I would prefer.
That was part of Toyota's goal, is try to do a redesign, give you enough change without changing it too much that you walk away. And with the redesign for 2014, they think they found a little bit of a better balance with that, hopefully.
It did fine in the snow, but not a snow-covered mound.
Having more aggressive tires would completely change the off-road capabilities.
One of the things you notice when you first get into the new 4Runner is that all of these controls could easily be operated while wearing a set of gloves, or for that matter, mittens.
So I do like the larger size now.
A few days later,
4Runners running this morning.
So we finally got old and new together, and then tried to separate them with a now less snowy mound.
Pretty amazing, actually, that steep of a hill, that both vehicles were capable of making it to the top.
But the 14 has selectable terrain modes.
Whether you're in mud, rock, snow, you can select it to that terrain. It'll automatically figure out what gear you need to be in.
Or you can put in the speed and it'll go by itself.
You just get to focus, take your foot off the gas pedal and focus on doing the rock crawling.
On a sparking I-15, it did great, though it rides quite firm, and we lost 3 miles per gallon in four-wheel drive. The traffic reports were not dependable. City driving is fine. It has a backup camera, though it's not needed desperately. And the back window rolls down.
Reminds me a lot of the first generation 4Runners, except just a lot more space and a lot more refinement.
Refinement on the inside of the 4Runner and underneath.
Making sure you have fun, yet you don't mess your vehicle up while you're there.
Brian.
The 4Runner starts at $32,800. The one you saw cost $44,295.
When we come back, Jill Hodson will have our weather forecast, and she can tell us if we'll be needing those snow tires this week.
The current temperature in Logan is 33 degrees.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back. Well, Jill, it was snowing this morning, and then after lunch, it was raining. What was that all about?
I have no idea, but I almost died like 4 times today.
It was really slick out there, wasn't it? I was slipping and sliding all over the place.
It was crazy. How about we take a look outside? And you can see that it's not snowing right now, but it is raining slightly, so just make sure you have your coat on. All right, so with our national weather, we have a winter storm coming on. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. There is a winter storm. It's called Winter Storm Leon, and it's just it's covering the panhandle of Florida. And then we're also having a winter storm coming on in Oregon. And it's also hitting the northern Utah area. And if we could go to the Utah map. With the Utah map, we have a lot of snow coming in, and it's also it's just covering Logan, Brigham, Ogden, and Salt Lake areas. We are expected to have about 6 inches of snow today. And just, can we take a look at the 7-day? All right, so we have snow today and tomorrow, Thursday, for a 70% chance. And then on Friday, we have 20% chance of precipitation, but it's mostly just cloudy. And then on 30, we have 30% chance on Saturday for snow, and then the rest of the weekend and onto the beginning of the week, it's supposed to be partly cloudy.
Wow, so we are actually getting some snow again. I was kind of thinking and slightly hoping that it wouldn't come back, but you know.
Yeah, it's pushed out the inversion, so it's a good thing.
That is actually a really good thing. My asthma thanks it.
It looked like you were forecasting people for a minute there.
Yeah, I totally was. I can control everything.
Okay,
That was great.
Interesting. So Bradley, it's the first year in the Mountain West for the Aggies. How's the basketball team doing?
They've had a pretty tough start to their conference slate, but we'll see how they can if they can correct the things that are happening. But when we come back, I'll show you how the Aggies did against the number 7 team in the country in the thriller in this spectrum.
Let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
For you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
I'm Bradley Wells, and this is your ATV Sports. Let's jump right into things with Aggie Gymnastics. The USU gymnastics team was 2-0 heading into their meet against BYU Friday. The Aggies are off to their best start since 1999 when the team started off with a 7-0 record. The USU gymnastics team scored 193.2 points and took home their first win against BYU since 2009. The Cougars put up a close fight, coming in at 192.9 points, but all-arounder Bailey McIntyre wasn't nervous, especially after scoring a high score of 9.8 on her floor routine.
It's not really like, oh, I'm nervous to go do my floor routine. It's just like, I want to go do it because it's so much fun to do.
And I think the girls are seeing that we don't have to be perfect to be on top, so now all we need to do is make sure that we keep cleaning and hit our routines so that we can get the scores we want.
The Aggies moved to 3-0 with the win and hit the road the next day to compete in a quad meet in California. They went up against Stanford, San Jose State, and UC Davis. Although USU placed fourth, it was their best score this season with 194.4 points. Sticking to the women's sides of things, we head to the basketball court where the Aggies hosted UNLV. USU was looking to rebound from its loss to the Broncos, but this wasn't an easy task as the Rebels were playing well in conference, sporting a 4-1 record. The first half belonged to the Rebels as Mia Bell and Alana Cesars both scored in the double figures. UNLV held a 43-33 advantage at the half. In the second half, the Aggies made things interesting as they made several runs before finally taking the lead after this layup by Franny Va'aulu. But it didn't last long as the Rebels got the lead back after this shot by Danielle Miller. UNLV held on to win 73-67.
Tonight, what we didn't see in the three previous games is that fight in us, kind of chest up and, we'll throw it back type of mentality.
For the first time all year, USU was unable to make a three-point shot. The Aggies were on the road Saturday against San Diego State, but could not pull off the victory, losing 88-72. The team will be back on the road tonight as they play the Lobos and try to end their 5-game losing streak. On Saturday, the Utah State men's basketball team played their toughest opponent thus far when they welcomed Xavier Thames and the 7th-ranked San Diego State Aztecs to the Spectrum. Our Jason Borba was on the sidelines for all of the heart-stopping action.
Saturday, the student section filled the stands and believed that their Aggies could take down the number 7 team in the nation. In the first half, neither team could pull away. Here, Xavier Thames gives the Aztecs the 2-point lead, and with 4 minutes left in the half, Winston Shepard puts his team up by 6. Spencer Butterfield's jumper with 54 seconds cuts the Aztecs lead 28-24 heading into the break. The second half was even more tightly contested than the first. Here, Marcel Davis comes up with a steal and passes it up to Jalen Moore for the Aggies' biggest lead of the night at 52-48. San Diego regained the lead with 2:53 to play after this free throw by Thames, but USU had upset on their minds. Moore with an acrobatic finish at the rim to give the Aggies a 1-point lead and sending the Spectrum into a frenzy. Back-to-back free throws by Thames with 16 seconds gave the Aztecs a 3-point lead and left USU in need of a miracle to force overtime.
Preston was covered. They were playing really good defense on him. They switched the man onto him, so I just came over and was able to get a decent look at it.
I didn't think we were going to get anything off. I mean, it was just kind of a miracle shot, great shot on his part.
San Diego had one last chance to win it in regulation, but Thames' shot doesn't fall. He would make up for it in overtime by scoring 10 of his game-high 31 points and ending any upset bid by the Aggies. The Aztecs survived the scare at the Spectrum 74-69.
We just got to find a way down the stretch. I mean, we've had 3 league games like this where we've had a chance down the stretch and we just don't make enough plays, and that's disappointing.
It was a tough loss against the 7th-ranked team in the nation, and things don't get easier for the Aggies as they host the University of New Mexico, who sit in 2nd place in the Mountain West and are led by Cameron Barstow, who averages 20 points per game and 7 rebounds. USU will look to end their 3-game slide on Tuesday against the Lobos.
We take you straight to the action where the game was close for much of the first half, but New Mexico took an 8-point lead into the break. The Aggies fought back to cut the lead down to 2 with 10 minutes left in the game after this screen by Preston Medlin. All right, here it is. But New Mexico's never stopped attacking the hoop. Lobos forward Cameron Bairstow led all scorers with 22 points as New Mexico won 78-65.
Their post Barstow, he played a great game. He was tough to guard down there, and they feel like in the second half they got a lot of easy putbacks, which really hurt us. They made some big shots at big times, so that was tough on us.
The Aggies have lost 6 of their last 8 games, including the last 4, and they are on the road this Saturday against Wyoming.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bradley. Coming up after the break, how do you use YouTube? We'll show you how some students are using the video site to their advantage and how you can as well.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Path you can take, YouTube. Our Ileana Barunda is live to show us how some USU students are making a living off of YouTube videos. Ileana?
YouTube is not just for watching funny videos. You can actually make a living off of it. On campus, USU students are actually YouTube creators called partners that have contracted with YouTube in order to make videos every week and get paid for it.
More than 1 billion people visit YouTube every month, and millions of accounts are created daily. YouTube is also the 3rd most popular site worldwide. If you gain enough viewers on your channel, you can get paid for posting videos. YouTuber Zach Nelson does just that. Since joining YouTube in 2012, Nelson uses his how-to videos to make money.
I've been focusing on this for about the last year and a half, and after I graduate college, I don't plan on getting a full-time job. I plan on just doing YouTube. It's something I'm passionate about, something I enjoy, and it's something that can support me, hopefully, for the rest of my life.
Nelson says he is asked by companies to feature their products in his videos.
So as long as people keep watching your YouTube videos, you'll be making money forever.
Thousands of people make 6 figures annually this way.
And you can start recording to YouTube today. Just pick up any smartphone, record yourself, and upload the content to YouTube. It's that easy.
Jesse Budd was a camera operator for the viral video Why Men and Women Can't Be Friends and wants to make this his career.
Video work not everyone can do it, and so they're willing to pay a pretty good price for someone to make high quality videos.
There are millions of YouTubers today who do just that.
So that's been super helpful to have all my videos in one location so I can show clients, business clients, what I'm capable of so they know if they want to hire me or not.
Who knows? Maybe you can become YouTube famous too. Ileana Barunda, ATV News.
Soon, there'll be a major on campus where you can major in YouTube. Hopefully, USU students will begin making videos and then getting paid for it. Back to you, Brandon.
Thanks, Ileana.
Thank you for joining us for this week's ATV News.
Be sure to tune in next week for another show. Have a good day, Cache Valley.
Show's done.